No one saw this coming as the Pittsburgh Penguins are dominating the NHL, having a very hot start to the season. In this video, we're going to break down the keys to their early success, and we're also going to talk about can they keep this going, and will it ultimately head into a Sidney Crosby trade or not. So you're not going to want to miss this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into the video, we just want to say we're on the road for 19,000 subscribers here on the channel. So if you're not subscribed already, you want to stay up to date on the latest NHL content, news around the league, make sure you're down below and hit that subscribe button. But with that said, let's jump right into this. As after last night on a spooky Halloween day, the Pittsburgh Penguins are now atop of the NHL. Number one in points at 18. They're clear of the Winnipeg Jets and the New Jersey Devils for the sole spot as the best team in the league today. And if you had to ask a lot of people, a lot of hockey fans, even some Penguins fans at the start of this season, if the Pens would be at the top of the league this early on, I think a lot of you guys would have said we're in the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes, but here we are. The Pittsburgh Penguins having a hot start to the year, winning a lot of close games, and it all has to do with a lot of these stats that we're going to talk about here, where the Penguins, as we stand today, have our first in power play percentage, our first in team save percentage. They're tied for first in shutouts, and they're also first in the NHL with 44 goals. And like you said, it's been a fun month for Penguins fans here to start the season. And we're going to talk about the goaltending a little bit early on, a little bit later in this video. But first, I do want to talk about the old veterans who have really stepped it up for the Penguins early on this season. And of course, you already know who we're talking about. That is Evgeni Malkin, who currently, as I'm recording this video, leads the team in points with 17 points through 12 games. The 39-year-old, yes, you are seeing that right, 39-year-old Evgeni Malkin, who's been doing this for a long time in the NHL, has 14 assists, 3 goals for 17 points to start the season, and is still averaging a 17 minutes time on ice every night. It is so great to see, Evgeni Malkin kind of defy Father Time and keep putting up these stats year to year, but having a tremendous start to this season, which actually has him tied for first in assists for this season, tied with the Montreal Canadiens' Nick Suzuki at 14 assists on the season. Evgeni Malkin has looked incredible to start the season for this Pittsburgh Penguins team, and he's not even playing on the top line. Yes, he is logging 17 minutes of ice every game, but is actually playing on the second line here for the Pittsburgh Penguins and putting up some crazy numbers. I mean, it's crazy to think that a player at 39 years old can go out and do the things that he is doing this season. It is just great to see that. But going back to some of the team success here, this is a crazy stat. So this is the power rankings on Money Puck of the teams so far this season. You see the Pittsburgh Penguins are ranked 27th in the power ranking, but are ranked number 1 in ability to win percentage, which puts their ability to win a game at 0.85% out of 100%. It's like 85% to win a game. So it's looking like the Pittsburgh Penguins are on a crazy start to this season, and it's just shown by this stat right here. I mean, 27th in the power rankings, saying their team on paper is ranked 27th, but they are still being able to go out there, generate the offense, win the games at 85% of the time, or 0.85% of the time, which ranks them number 1, even above teams like the Avalanche, the Jets, and the Mammoth, who are having a crazy start to the season as well, which is, shows the character of this team, and, shows that a lot of these guys that are there that maybe haven't made a name for themselves yet, want to get this done for Sid, because they want to see Sidney Crosby, and I know Sidney Crosby and Malkin want to see themselves back in the playoffs one more time before they hang up the skates, maybe Malkin more so than Crosby. But if we keep looking here, looking at the top point leaders, like I said, back to Malkin, he's 7th in the league right now, tied for 3rd, I do believe, in overall points this season, which is great to see as well. But I do want to switch gears into Sidney Kid here because obviously we know how good Sidney Crosby is. I mean, this guy's been a tremendous player for a very long time, ever since I've been a kid. 38 years old for him, 39 years old for Malkin, and they're putting up some insane numbers. You see Sidney Crosby starting a year with 15 points, 8 goals, 7 assists through 12 games. The big reason to their success so far has been the success of Sidney Crosby, has been the success of Evgeni Malkin, and that's going to continue to go on here for this team. Also, it's good to see Sidney Crosby kind of come back after the Four Nations last year, winning that tournament, kind of getting his love for, not getting his love, but getting the fix for that meaningful hockey that he's been craving. And now we see him coming out at the start of the year saying, I want to get back there. I want to bring the Penguins back to the Stanley Cup playoff. And that is what him and Malkin are doing, basically carrying this entire team on their backs this season at 38 and 39 years old. You do not see that very often in the NHL. But I do want to get into the goaltending here because this has been a special tandem goaltending duo that they do have there. Tristan, Jarry really coming back, having a bounce back season. 5 wins, 1 loss for him. 3 wins, 1 loss for Arturs Silovs as well, but both putting up some great save percentages early on. 9.23 for Jarry and a 9.19 for Arturs here to start the season. Both also posting a shutout already this season, one shutout each. So it's great to see this goaltending tandem, have a great start to the season. And like I said, it's been a key to their success so far, has been obviously the production from their forwards and, the production from their defense as well. I think Carlson's kind of having a little bit of a bounce back season in my eyes as well. So having that paired with great goaltending, they're kind of even games right now. I believe 6 starts apiece. So they're really riding the tandem. They don't want to ride Jarry too hard because then he'll just get gassed. And, that's when we'll see his numbers start to diminish. But now they're not afraid to take him out because they have a goalie in Arturs Silovs who's proven to do it, with Vancouver during his time there. And now he's doing it with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and it's just great to see this tandem going, and you see here how impactful they've been for this team. If you see here, the goals save above the expected category, Tristan Jarry ranks 7th, Arturs Silovs ranks 11th, Jarry with a 6.4, Arturs Silovs with a 5.3. If you're wondering, hey, what does this stat category mean? I've never seen it before. This means that, the goals that are supposed to go in the net every game that the goaltender save, this is this stat category. So you see here that Tristan Jarry is saving about 6.5 goals a game from the opposition team. Six shots a game that should be goals, Jarry is saving. 5 shots a game that should be goals, Arturs Silovs is saving. So just showing how great of goaltenders they've been so far this season. They're keeping their team in games by having these game-saving stops, and has really, kind of generated that momentum for the team to say, hey, we want to back up our goalie here. He's standing on our head for us. So that's what we're seeing from Malkin and from Crosby and guys like Justin Brazeau as well. I mean, looking at the team, Justin Brazeau, guy kind of coming out of nowhere over the last couple of seasons, having 12 points in 12 games for this Penguins team, just a point per game player. Nobody really would have thought that to start the season. Anthony Mantha as well, having 11 points. Brian Rust with 10. Erik Karlsson, like I said, having a little bit of a bounce back year at a +8, I must add, as a defenseman. And Rickard Rakell as well, having 8 points. You're seeing a lot of even offense throughout this team. You have 3 players, 1 at a point per game, 2 over a point per game that are in their, they're almost 40. I mean, at this point, they are pushing 40, but you see all these guys contributing and chipping into the offense, on odd nights. We're seeing a lot of production from the bottom 6 when they need a goal. That's what's upping their ability to win percentage, is that, when Malkin and Crosby aren't getting the offense done, or they can't get it done on their shift, they're getting picked up from the guys deeper down their lineup that are going out and getting it done. And that's the key to a team winning. That's the key to their success so far this season. Is just everybody chipping in and everybody wanting to get the Pittsburgh Penguins back into the playoffs, which is great to see. But Can they keep this going? Looking at their schedule coming up, we see they have 5 tough games. Their next 5 games against Winnipeg. Like I said, they're just underneath them in the standings. They have one against Toronto. Maybe Toronto's had a rocky start to the year as well. Washington, always a good matchup to see. Ovi and Crosby go head-to-head. And New Jersey, that's the team that's tied for second in points. So 2 really tough games in Winnipeg and New Jersey. I would even argue Toronto was going to be a tough game as well. Washington, obviously the big rivalry there. And then you have LA, a team who has been, always been a playoff team over these last couple of years. So you do have a tough stint coming up for Penguins fans, and maybe that could humble them a bit and drop them down in the standings, but hey, maybe it couldn't. Maybe they are going to continue on this momentum that nobody thought was coming this season, and the old guys like Crosby and Malkin are just going to continue the ridiculous start to the season that they are having, and hopefully that, these guys can drag the Penguins to the wild card spot. I would love to see that. I feel like the NHL playoffs aren't the same without the Penguins in it, so I think it would be nice to see that. But I mean, going into this season, we've heard a lot of rumblings around a Sidney Crosby trade. Is he going to be traded to the Avalanche? Is he going to be traded to the Canadiens? But if the Pittsburgh team is in a playoff spot or looking for a playoff spot come trade deadline, I don't think Crosby's going to go anywhere. I think he wants to win another one in Pittsburgh, and I think he is going to do anything in his power to do that. And then, they're kind of, looking at Kyle Dubas saying, hey, we're supposed to go into a rebuild, but this team's rocking right now. Get us a few extra guys that could get us to the playoffs. So really going to be interesting this season for the Pittsburgh Penguins to see which way they go, whether they lean more of we're going rebuild or whether they lean more, hey, let's do it one more time while Crosby and Malkin are still around. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think about the Pittsburgh Penguins so far this season? What do you think they could add to boost their lineup and add to, just make them solidify that playoff spot? I definitely think maybe shoring up the bottom or even the second line with maybe another veteran type guy that they could get at the deadline would definitely be the way to go. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. But as always, I've been your host, KC. Catch you in the next one.